Hey guys, how are you? Today in this video we will discuss about early electric computer. So let's get started. So, we will learn about three main points that are early electric computer, wartime computers, and generation of computers. There are three early electric computers. Herman Hollerith from 1890. Later IBM introduces their computer in 1924, and after that first electric binary computer Z1 and Z2 introduced in 1930. Herman Hollerith combined the old technology of punched cards, used in the Jacquard loom, with the, then, new electrical technology of vacuum tubes, to produce a sorting and tabulating machine. In this machine, wires poked through the holes in the punched cards then into cups of mercury, which completed an electrical circuit and registered the data on the card. The 1880 census took over 7 years to complete. With the help of this machine, the 1890 census was completed in 6 weeks. IBM, in addition to solving the census problem, Hollerith's machines proved themselves to be extremely useful for a wide variety of statistical applications, and some of the techniques they used were to be significant in the development of the digital computer. In 1896 Hollerith founded the Tabulating Machine Company, forerunner of Computer Tabulating Recording Company, Center. He served as a consulting engineer with Center until retiring in 1921. In 1924 Center changed its name to IBM, the International Business Machines Corporation. Now let's discuss about wartime computers. The first was Enigma, introduced in 1940, then Colossus' first digital computer in 1941, later on ENIAC, in 1943. In today's computer world, many of us use encryption technology to keep our data safe from others. But in the 1930s, encryption was a life or death matter. As Nazi Germany made war on Europe, its generals and admirals had a secret weapon. It wasn't a bomb or a gun, it was a code machine. The Enigma Machine was one of thousands deployed by the Nazis, so they could send and receive encoded messages. The wooden box contained dials and wheels that could be set with the day's code instructions. Then, anything transmitted would be in code. Betchley Park and Colossus. Bletchley Park was Britain's best-kept secret 50 years ago. But without Bletchley Park, World War II would probably have lasted another 2 years. It was at Bletchley that codebreakers monitored and read the top-secret communications between members of the German High Command during the Second World War. It was at Bletchley that Colossus was built. This was Britain's first, and, if the historians at Bletchley are to be believed, the world's first electronic computer. Americans claim to have been first with ENIAC, but experts insist that Colossus beat this by 2 years. The reason it isn't in most of the history books is because it was a secret. The ENIAC was a large-scale, general-purpose digital electronic computer built out of some 17,468 electronic vacuum tubes, instead of switches and relays. ENIAC was in its time the largest single electronic apparatus in the world. ENIAC was a secret World War II military project to speed up the tedious mathematical calculations needed to produce artillery firing tables for the army. Generation of computer. As we all know that there are 5 generations of computer. On/off switches and digital power switch controls the flow of power to an electric device. The switch has an on and off position, usually represented by a 1, on, and a 0, off. Every computer today uses a power button for turning on and off a computer. The third generation computer was started in 1965 and ended around 1971. Third generation computers start using integrated circuits instead of transistors. The integrated circuit, IC, is a semiconductor material. Characteristics of third generation computers include integrated circuits instead of individual transistors. Smaller, cheaper, more efficient and faster than second generation computers. High-level programming languages. Magnetic storage. In 1959, the first integrated circuit was created. Jack Kilby of Texas Instruments and Robert Noyce of Fairchild Semiconductor Two separate inventors, unaware of each other's activities, invented almost identical integrated circuits. Since their creation, many generations of integrated circuits have increased the number of transistors and logic gates per chip. The 4004 was Intel's first microprocessor. This breakthrough invention powered the Bizicom calculator and paved the way for embedding intelligence in inanimate objects, including the personal computer. UNIVAC was a first-generation computer. UNIVAC, which stood for Universal Automatic Computer, was developed by a team of engineers led by J. Prespereckert and John Mauchly, makers of ENIAC, the first general-purpose electronic digital computer. The IBM 650 was the first computer to be mass-produced. The 650 only used about 500 vacuum tubes in its central processing unit, and was therefore much smaller and more dependable than the UNIVAC. Mini-computer, computer that was smaller, less expensive, and less powerful than a mainframe or supercomputer, but more expensive and more powerful than a personal computer. Mini-computers were used for scientific and engineering computations, business.
The first PDP-1, its first digital mini-computer with video display. PDP-1 was also used for process control, scientific research and graphics applications, as well as to pioneer time-sharing systems. A supercomputer is a computer with a high level of performance as compared to a general-purpose computer. The performance of a supercomputer is commonly measured in floating-point operations per second instead of million instructions per second. Supercomputer architectures are made up of multiple central processing units, CPUs. These CPUs have groups composed of compute nodes and memory. Supercomputers can contain thousands of nodes that use parallel processing to communicate. Classification of computer. With respect to usage, a workstation is more robust than the typical PC, with enhanced specs like a faster CPU and GPU, more memory, increased storage, software certification, and the ability to withstand constant usage. Often they will have a discrete GPU, so the CPU does. A notebook computer is a battery or AC-powered personal computer generally smaller than a briefcase that can easily be transported and conveniently used in temporary spaces such as on airplanes, in libraries, temporary offices, and at meetings. Notebook computers generally cost more than desktop computers with the same capabilities because they are more difficult to design and manufacture. A notebook can effectively be turned into a desktop computer with a docking station. A tablet is a wireless, portable personal computer with a touchscreen interface. The tablet form factor is typically smaller than a notebook computer, but larger than a smartphone. The idea of tablet computing is generally credited to Alan Kay of Xerox, who sketched out the idea in 1971. Popular uses for a tablet PC include viewing presentations, video conferencing, reading ebooks, watching movies, sharing photos and more. As of 2021 there are 1.28 billion tablet users worldwide. A PDA cell phone is a handheld mobile telecommunications device that shares the features of both a cell phone and a personal digital assistant, PDA. Such devices can also be referred to as smartphones, but there is no industry standard when it comes to the reference of these products. Samsung is developing folding smartphone technology, and one specialist manufacturer, Planet Computers, already has a modern PDA on the market. Smartphones were originally meant to allow individuals to communicate via phone and email. Smartphones now allow people to access the internet, play games, and send text messages in addition to making phone calls and sending emails. The low-cost Raspberry Pi single-board computer, SBC, was originally designed as a platform to teach computer science to students, but it has expanded into other applications, including use as an embedded platform. Having now shipped over 25 million units, an entire ecosystem has built up around this $35 computer. Raspberry Pi has all the features you expect from a computer: wireless internet connectivity, HDMI ports for your monitors, and USB ports for your accessories.